Welcome to English Phrases Hub, and I'm really looking forward to exploring something useful with you today.
It's great to be here to guide you through this topic.
Today we're doing a sort of calm, friendly, deep dive into learning English effectively, specifically looking towards 2025. So whether you're just starting out, maybe beginner level, or perhaps you're more intermediate, we've got some ideas.
Exactly. We'll look at why now, 2025, is actually a really good time to learn.
And we'll cover modern resources, ways to practice.
And importantly, how to stay motivated,
Definitely. We want to make it clear, easy to follow, show you how accessible learning English can be now.
Yeah, the technology and resources available today, they make a huge difference.
We know learning a language can feel, well, a bit daunting sometimes.
It can.
But we're here to break it down. We'll probably be about 30 minutes.
Around that, yeah. And the focus is really on making it effective, but also hopefully enjoyable, too.
And remember, you're definitely not alone in this.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely not. Millions of people are learning English right now.
It's that global language thing, isn't it? Spoken by over 1.5 billion people.
Think about that. 1.5 billion. It just opens up so many opportunities for work, travel.
Or exams, or just for fun, connecting with people.
Exactly.
So get comfortable. Maybe grab a notebook if that helps you.
Yeah.
Let's start with this idea of the 2025 advantage. Why is right now such a good moment?
Well, the big thing, I think, about learning English in 2025 is just the sheer volume of resources you have right at your fingertips.
Compared to the past, you mean?
Oh, completely. Think about smartphones, widespread Wi-Fi.
Right, everyone's connected.
Pretty much. And that means you can learn anytime, anywhere, waiting for a bus on your lunch break.
So you just squeeze in a quick lesson.
You can. You've got instant access, lessons, English content from all over the world.
Like what kind of content?
Well, you could be watching a quick video from someone in London, or listening to a podcast from New York, reading an article from Toronto. It's all there.
English really is that bridge, isn't it? Connecting that huge global community.
1.5 billion speakers, yeah. It's massive.
But it's not just about accessing stuff, is it? It's the type of help available, too.
That's a really key point. The tools and the support you get now in 2025, they go way beyond, old textbooks and classrooms.
Right.
We've got this amazing range of modern tools. Apps, websites, videos, podcasts. They often make learning much more interactive.
And maybe even fun.
Dare I say it? Yes, fun.
That's good to hear, because it shouldn't feel like a total chore. Are these tools expensive?
Many are actually free, or at least very affordable. Think about all the educational videos on YouTube. Totally free.
True.
And lots of language apps have really good free versions. Plus, you've got online communities, language exchange forums, often free too.
It's like you said, having a library.
And maybe a personal teacher or practice partner.
Right in your pocket. That's a great image. What about motivation? That's always a big hurdle. How does today's world help with that?
Well, this is interesting because English is just so integrated into our daily lives online now.
You mean like music and movies?
Exactly. Music, movies, gaming, social media. English isn't just something you study, it's part of the online culture.
So that constant exposure can actually motivate you.
I think so. Because you're enjoying something in English, maybe a song or a YouTube video, and you start picking things up almost without trying.
Learning without realizing you're learning. The dream.
Kind of. You might learn a new phrase from a YouTuber you follow or understand some slang from a song. It feels more natural.
Yeah, I can see that. You might learn funny phrases from TikToks or YouTube Shorts or something.
Precisely. So to sum up that 2025 advantage, it's this mix, isn't it?
Yeah.
Global connection, powerful tech in your pocket, and English being part of everyday online life. It makes learning easier and, frankly, more exciting.
Definitely sounds like a good time to jump in.
Absolutely. So maybe now we can dig into some of those specific tools in tech.
Perfect. Let's look at the modern resources that can boost your English. Apps, online tools. Have you, listening now, tried any of these?
It's interesting with language apps, things like Duolingo, Babbel, Memrise. They often use what's called gamification.
Gamification.
Yeah.
Like making it a game.
Exactly. So learning vocabulary, grammar, even pronunciation feels less like study, more like, playing. Short exercises, points, rewards.
So it keeps you engaged.
That's the idea. It can really help with motivation, keeping you coming back.
So it's not just like flashcards on a screen.
Oh, no. These apps usually adapt to your level, too, so they get harder as you get better.
Smart.
Yeah. And they have points, maybe streaks for daily practice, reminders. trying to keep you on track.
And getting feedback must be important. Do they do that?
Yes, usually instant feedback on answers, sometimes even on your pronunciation.
Wow.
And many use AI, artificial intelligence, to personalize the lessons, focusing where you need more help.
So it tailors it to you?
Pretty much. It's worth trying a few different apps, honestly, to see what style fits you best.
Okay. Now, AI, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
You mentioned AI chatbots or tutors. How do they work for learning English?
Right, this is a really exciting area. AI chatbots like ChatGPT or others, they offer a new way to practice conversation.
You mean you can actually talk to them?
You can, either by typing or increasingly by voice.
Really? A spoken conversation with an AI?
Yeah, and the key thing is the AI adapts to your English level. It can give you feedback, corrections right away.
So what could you practice?
Well, you could ask it to check your sentences or practice specific situations like ordering food in a restaurant.
That sounds incredibly useful, like having a practice partner available 2 for 7.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and a very patient one too.
True.
You could just start simply, "Hello, I want to practice English. Can you help me?" See what happens.
I might try that. Okay, besides conversations, what about pronunciation? That's tricky for many learners.
It is. And technology can really help here too. There are apps like ESL Speak, for example.
ESL speak.
Yeah, and even some tools built into, say, Google Search. They listen to you speak.
They listen.
Give you specific feedback. ESL uses AI to analyze how you say words, and it can give you tips like how to move your mouth or tongue differently.
So I keep saying a word wrong, like
Mhm.
comfortable.
Exactly. An app like that might pinpoint which sound is off and tell you how to fix it. It's very targeted.
Wow.
And we'll talk about another tool, Youglish, in a bit, which is great for hearing real pronunciations. But even just talking to your phone, many have built-in tools now. Worth checking out.
Good tip. What about newer tech, like virtual reality, VR?
Ah, yes. VR is becoming more accessible using headsets like the MetaQuest ones.
Yeah.
There are language learning apps for VR like Monly VR. They put you in simulated environments.
Like a virtual coffee shop?
Exactly. Or an airport, a hotel, and you practice conversations in that setting. It feels very real.
That sounds incredibly immersive, like you're actually there.
Yeah. It really is. You get feedback within that simulation. But, even without a VR headset, some platforms use 360-degree videos to give you a similar feeling of immersion.
So technology is making it all much more interactive, more realistic.
Definitely. It's changing how we can practice.
So with all these options apps, AI, VR, what's your advice for someone wanting to start? It sounds like a lot.
It can seem like a lot. I'd say just try one new thing, maybe one new tool a week. Spend just 10 minutes a day on an app. Or have one short chat with an AI. See how it feels.
Small steps.
Exactly. Consistency is more important than doing everything at once. Find what you actually enjoy using and what helps you. Different things work for different people.
That's really practical advice. Start small, be consistent, find what works.
Precisely.
Okay, so we've covered these specific tools, but what about just the internet? Like YouTube. There's so much free stuff there.
Yes. And that leads us perfectly into our next section. Using immersive resources, how YouTube and other online media can be amazing learning tools.
Right. Because you can learn and be entertained.
That's the beauty of it. If you find videos you genuinely enjoy, they become really powerful learning tools without feeling like work.
So YouTube.
Yeah.
It's huge. Where does an English learner even start?
Well, first off, it's an incredible free resource. There are channels specifically for teaching English, and they put out regular content.
Any recommendations?
Sure. BBC Learning English is great. They have short daily lessons. Speakers are usually very clear, often with subtitles.
Okay. BBC Learning English.
Then there's English with Lucy. She focuses on British English, gives lots of tips on sounding natural, common mistakes. Very easy to follow.
Good for British English.
And for American English, Speak English with Vanessa is very popular, covers everyday topics, encourages you to speak along.
So BBC, Lucy, Vanessa.
Mm.
Good starting points.
Definitely. Subscribe to a couple, watch regularly, and don't just watch passively.
What do you mean?
Pause the video. If you hear a new phrase, pause it, try saying it out loud. Repeat it.
Actively engage.
Exactly. And remember that slowdown feature on YouTube.
Oh yeah, the playback speed.
Super useful if the person is speaking too fast for you at first.
Great tip. Okay, what about videos not made for learners? Like regular vlogs or something?
Yes. This is where you get real immersion. Channels like Easy English, they do street interviews.
Oh, I've seen those.
Right, with subtitles. You hear real people, real conversations, different accents. It's fantastic exposure.
So just find stuff you're interested in.
Exactly. Watch vlogs about travel, tech, cooking, gaming. Whatever you like, but in English.
Use subtitles at first.
Yeah, start with subtitles if you need them, then gradually try watching without them, or maybe just with English subtitles. See how much you understand from context.
And you start picking up natural phrases that way.
Absolutely. You hear how people really talk. Maybe someone says, I'm off to, instead of I am going to.
Right.
Or slang, like if something costs an arm and a leg. You learn it from the situation.
Learning in context. Makes sense. Are there other YouTube features we can use?
We'll definitely use the captions, closed captions. Pause and repeat is your friend. And try shadowing.
Shadowing. What's that?
It's where you listen to a sentence, pause, and then immediately try to repeat it exactly as the speaker said it, matching their pronunciation, their intonation.
Like mimicking them.
Precisely. Like if they say, hello, everyone, welcome back to my channel, you pause and say, hello, everyone, welcome back to my channel, trying to sound just like them.
Okay, that sounds like really active practice.
It is great for pronunciation and fluency. Now, you mentioned Youglish earlier.
Yes. How does that work with YouTube?
Youglish is brilliant. It's a website and an app, too, I think. You type in an English word or phrase.
Any word.
Any word or phrase, and it searches YouTube and instantly finds loads of short video clips where real people are saying that exact word or phrase.
Wow. So you hear it in lots of different contexts and accents.
Exactly. Say you're unsure about environment or how to say nice to meet you naturally. Youglish shows you example after example from real videos.
That sounds incredibly useful for pronunciation and just hearing how sentences flow.
It really is. I highly recommend trying with a tricky word. Just type it in and see.
Okay, I'll definitely check that out. What about music and movies on YouTube?
Also great. Find lyric videos for songs you like. Sing along. Great for rhythm and pronunciation.
Good idea.
Watch movie clips. See how people talk in different scenarios. Some channels even break down movie scenes to teach English.
So much potential there.
Yeah.
But you said don't just watch passively.
Right. It's tempting to just put on a movie and relax, which is fine sometimes, but for learning, try to be more active.
Meaning?
Pause. Ask yourself, did I understand that? Try repeating lines. Maybe keep a little notebook nearby for new words.
Okay.
And afterwards, maybe try to summarize the video in English. Just speak it out loud or write a few sentences. It helps solidify everything.
So the main message is surround yourself with English media you enjoy, but engage with it actively.
You got it. It's like a free immersion course right there online. Even 15 minutes a day of active watching or listening can make a real difference.
That's really encouraging. Okay, we know why now is good. We know the tools and resources.
Yeah.
What about actually doing the practice? How do we build fluency?
Yes, let's talk about practice strategies. This is about building those habits that really improve your speaking, listening, reading, and writing.
Okay, sounds crucial. What's the #1 thing for effective practice?
I'd say consistency. It's probably the most important factor.
Consistency over intensity.
Absolutely. Doing a little bit every day, say 15 minutes, is much, much better than trying to cram in 2 hours once a week.
Okay.
Think about how to weave it into your routine. Vocabulary at breakfast, podcast on the commute. Find those pockets of time.
Like exercise, right? Little and often builds the muscle.
Exactly like that. Find a time that works for you and try to stick to it. Make it a habit.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, speaking, that's often the big goal. How do we practice speaking effectively?
The key is just do it. Speak as much as possible. And please don't worry about making mistakes. Everyone does.
Easier said than done sometimes.
I know. But look for chances. Practice with friends learning English, family maybe. Use language exchange apps or websites to find partners. Join online conversation groups.
Okay, what if you don't have anyone to practice with easily?
Practice alone. Seriously, describe what you're doing as you do it. I'm making coffee now. Talk about your day out loud.
Talking to yourself?
Yeah. It feels weird at first, maybe, but it works. You can even record yourself on your phone.
Record yourself. Why?
So you can listen back, hear your own pronunciation, notice things you want to improve. It's really insightful. But again, mistakes are fine. They're learning opportunities.
Okay, embrace the mistakes. Got it. Any other techniques for fluency?
Yes. Try to get into the habit of thinking in English.
Thinking in English. How?
Start simple. Just mentally label things around you. Chair, window, computer. Then move on to simple sentences in your head. It's raining today. I need my umbrella. What should I have for lunch?
Ah, so you bypass the translation step from your native language.
Exactly. It trains your brain to work directly in English. It makes speaking much smoother and faster over time because you're not constantly translating back and forth.
That sounds powerful. Okay, what about balancing the skills? Listening, reading, writing, speaking.
Yeah, it's important to mix it up. Don't just focus on speaking, even if that's your main goal.
Right.
Listen actively, podcasts, music, radio. Read news articles, maybe simpler ones like from VOA Learning English, blogs, social media. Write, keep a simple journal, message friends in English. And speak, of course.
VOA Learning English, good tip for simpler news.
Yeah. And remember shadowing for speaking practice. That helps listening too. Varying your practice keeps it interesting and builds all-around communication skills.
Okay, mix it up. One more thing. Using what you learn.
Crucial. Don't just learn a new word or phrase and then forget it. Use it. Actively try to put it into your own sentences in your speaking or writing as soon as possible.
So if I learn to figure something out,
Try to use it. I need to figure out how this app works. Or I finally figured out the answer. Make it your own. Play with the language.
okay, use it or lose it, basically.
Pretty much. So the best practice strategy is one that you find, well, enjoyable enough to stick with.
Sustainable.
Yes. Find that balance between fun stuff and challenging stuff. If you're busy, integrate it. English music while cooking, follow English accounts on social media.
Link it in.
Exactly. And just be patient. Fluency doesn't happen overnight, but every single practice session is progress. Remember that.
That's really important to keep in mind. Okay, final stretch. How do we stay motivated and confident through all this? It can be a long journey.
It really can be. And motivation definitely goes up and down. That's totally normal. So having ways to keep going and build that self-belief is key.
Absolutely. So what are your top tips for staying motivated?
First, always remember why you started. What's your personal reason for learning English?
For a job, travel, connecting with family.
Whatever it is, write it down. Make it your phone wallpaper. Remind yourself often.
Keep the goal in sight.
Exactly. And set small, achievable goals along the way. Not just become fluent, but maybe learn 50 new words this month, or confidently introduce myself, or finish level 3 of my app.
Break it down.
Yeah, and celebrate when you reach those small goals. It builds momentum, feels good.
Nice. And making it fun helps motivation too, right?
Definitely. Link English to things you already enjoy. Love cooking, find recipes in English, love gaming, play in English.
Makes sense. What about dealing with those inevitable mistakes? How does that affect confidence?
Really try to reframe mistakes. See them not as failures, but as proof that you're trying, you're learning. They show you what you need to work on.
Okay, mistakes are learning opportunities.
Yes, and track your progress somehow. Keep that journal, record yourself speaking now, and then compare it to recordings from months ago. You will see improvement, and that's a huge confidence booster.
Seeing how far you've come.
Exactly. And maybe occasionally gently push your comfort zone. Leave a comment on a video in English. Try asking a tourist for simple directions, if appropriate. Small wins build confidence.
Good idea. What about other people? Does community help?
Hugely. Connect with other learners, online forums, local meetups maybe. Share tips, struggles, successes. Knowing you're not alone is really motivating.
Sharing the journey.
Yeah. And finally, reward yourself. After a good study week or reaching a goal, treat yourself to something nice. Acknowledge your effort.
Positive reinforcement.
I love it.
Any final thoughts on motivation and confidence?
Maybe just, let's try this. Wherever you are listening, just take a breath and maybe repeat after me, even silently in your head. I am improving my English every day.
Okay.
I am confident and I will keep practicing. Believing in yourself makes a real difference. Everyone learns differently at their own speed. You're putting in the effort, and that's fantastic. Be proud of that. Keep going.
That's a wonderful, positive note to lean on. Thank you for all of that.
My pleasure.
Okay, so let's quickly recap this deep dive into learning English effectively in 2025.
Right.
We looked at the 2025 advantage, why now is great, with all the resources and global connection.
We covered modern tools apps, AI chatbots, pronunciation helpers, even a bit about VR.
And how to use immersive resources like YouTube-specific channels, real-life content, and that cool Youglish tool.
Then we talked practice strategies. Consistency is king, speak often, try thinking in English, mix your skills, and actively use what you learn.
And finally, those vital tips for motivation and confidence. Remember your why, set small goals, enjoy it, embrace mistakes, track progress, find community, and reward yourself.
And remember that tech can give you feedback and support along the way. Don't forget those YouTube channels or Youglish for pronunciation help.
Yeah, surrounding yourself with English you actually enjoy makes such a difference.
And weaving those practice habits into your daily life, small, consistent steps.
And always be kind to yourself. Mistakes are part of it. Celebrate the progress.
It's your journey. Go at your own pace and try to enjoy it.
We're genuinely proud of you for tuning in and wanting to improve.
How to learn English effectively, like right now in 2025.
Yeah, and we're diving into a specific source for this one, a video called How I'd Learn English in 2025 If I Were Starting Now. Seems pretty relevant.
Definitely. So our mission today is basically to pull out the best bits, the key insights, and, the real practical advice from that video.
Right. We want to show you how you can use all the amazing tools and resources we have available today.
To make learning English smarter, maybe even more fun.
And definitely more effective. Because, honestly, the video makes a great point right at the start.
Which is?
That now, 2025. It's just arguably the best time ever to start learning a language.
Because of all the tech and stuff available?
Exactly. It's just so much more accessible than it used to be. A huge advantage.
Okay, so where does the video suggest we start? What's the first big shift?
Well, one of the first core ideas is about moving away from old habits, like stressing too much about memorizing grammar rules in isolation.
Or just endless vocabulary lists. I remember doing that.
Yeah, exactly. Those lists you just stare at. The video argues you shouldn't get completely bogged down in that.
So it's not saying ignore grammar and vocab.
No, not at all. It's about how you learn them. The advice is to focus on learning grammar and vocabulary in context.
In context, meaning?
Meaning seeing and hearing words and grammar used in, real sentences, real situations, like in stories or conversations or videos.
Unless you're studying for a specific grammar test, maybe?
Right, that's the caveat. If you need to know the explicit rule for an exam, okay. But for actually using the language, context is key.
And the payoff for that approach is?
You learn more naturally. You start to get a real feel for the language, how it flows, what sounds right. It's not just abstract rules or random words.
Yeah, that makes sense. I liked the practical tip in the video for vocabulary. The whole use it immediately idea.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. The examples were great. Heard scrub on a cooking show.
Say, I'm going to scrub the dishes out loud.
Exactly. Or you hear the word cozy.
You find something cozy, like a hoodie, and say, I feel cozy in this hoodie.
Right. It links directly to that core learning principle. Use it or lose it.
So it's not enough just to write it down?
Nope. The video really emphasizes active use. Say it. Write a sentence with it. Maybe post it somewhere online. Put it in a journal entry.
Make it part of your active language right away.
Precisely. That's how you make it stick.
Okay, so natural learning, active use. What about the input side? Listening and reading.
Huge emphasis on that, too. Learning through stories is highlighted. Things like podcasts for learners. Little Stories for English Learners was mentioned.
Or apps that help with reading stories, like LingQ or maybe Beeline Reader.
Yes, tools like that. The idea is the more you encounter a word or a phrase in different sort of natural contexts,
the more it just sinks in without you having to force it.
Exactly. Your brain starts to just pick up the meaning and usage naturally.
And to help really lock that learning in, the video mentions spaced repetition, right?
Absolutely. This is where you bring in tools like Anki or Quizlet or Memorize. There are quite a few.
And they basically schedule reviews for you.
Yeah. They prompt you to recall information just around the time you might be about to forget it.
Smart. So it actively strengthens the memory.
Right. It works with how your brain actually learns and remembers things. Makes the whole process much more efficient.
Okay, and alongside listening, the video still gives a big thumbs up to reading.
Oh, definitely. Reading is still described as incredibly powerful. Not just for vocab.
For grammar, too. How does that work?
Well, as you read more, you just keep seeing the same grammar patterns, the same sentence structures used correctly over and over again.
Ah, so your brain starts to internalize those patterns.
Exactly. You develop that kind of gut feeling for what sounds right in English, even if you can't explain the specific grammar rule behind it.
And the video had a specific technique for making reading even better. A top 3 hack, I think they called it.
Yes. Pairing reading with audiobooks.
So reading the text while listening to it being read.
That's the one.
Yeah.
You follow along in the book or on the screen while listening to a native speaker read it.
Why is that combo so good?
Well, it hits multiple things at once. Pronunciation, obviously. Intonation, the rhythm of the language.
And crucially for English.
Right, where spelling can be so tricky,
Mm-hmm.
it connects the written word directly to how it sounds. Very powerful.
Builds confidence for speaking, too, I imagine.
Definitely. Helps you connect the visual and the auditory.
Okay, let's shift gears slightly. What about when you do need to work on grammar more directly or improve your writing?
Good question. The video suggests using technology here too. Tools like Grammarly or Quillbot or similar apps.
How do they help?
They act like a sort of instant feedback mechanism. They check your writing, spot potential errors in grammar or structure.
And suggest better ways to say things.
Exactly. They help you see where you might be going wrong and guide you towards more natural or correct phrasing. It's like having a helpful editor looking over your shoulder.
The video also mentioned something about fun, quick grammar practices. Mini challenges.
Oh yeah, those little interactive things you see sometimes on TikTok or Instagram.
Like spot the mistake or answer a quick question.
Right. They're fast. They make you think for just a second. And yeah, the source called them kind of addictive.
A good kind of addictive, hopefully.
Hopefully. It's just about getting these little bursts of active engagement with the language throughout your day.
There was another really interesting tip. Learning in chunks. What's that about?
Chunking. It's a really effective way to sound more fluent. Instead of trying to piece sentences together word by word using grammar rules.
You learn common phrases.
Exactly. You learn common phrases and patterns that native speakers use all the time as complete units or chunks.
Like the examples, can I get? Or I'm not sure if.
Or that depends on. Yeah, those kinds of things. You learn the whole phrase as one block.
And the grammar is just sort of baked in.
It is. When you learn can I get, you're learning the correct structure for asking politely without even thinking about, modal verbs or inversion. It's functional.
Practical grammar.
Very practical. The video even pointed to another resource, a clip breakdown, showing how much useful language is packed into just a tiny bit of real conversation.
And for writing specifically, those tools like Grammarly come back in.
Yeah, the source basically says improving writing has, quote, never been easier.
Having an editor in your pocket.
That's the phrase used, instant feedback, vocabulary suggestions. It's a huge help for building writing confidence.
Okay, let's talk speaking. This felt like a really key section. The video calls now a golden time for speaking practice.
It really does. And it emphasizes this is great for everyone, but maybe especially helpful if you're a bit introverted or shy about speaking.
Why is it a golden time?
Well, obviously, the traditional routes are still there. Group lessons, finding a private tutor, joining a speaking club.
The video mentioned a friend's club, Daniela's, I think.
Yes, as a good example of a speaking club. Those are still great options. But the real game changer
is AI.
It's the incredible amount of AI tools, as the video puts it. They've just exploded recently.
Like ChatGPT's voice feature.
Exactly. You can literally have a spoken conversation with ChatGPT now, back and forth, about anything.
Wow. And you can ask it to correct you?
Yeah. You can tell it, hey, can you correct my mistakes, but naturally, like a friend would. And it can do that.
That removes a lot of pressure.
Totally. And then there are apps specifically designed for this, like Eloise or Speak, which simulate conversations and just make practice feel really easy.
The person in the video said this tech would have been life-changing for them as an introverted learner.
Yeah, they call it mind-blowing, even now. And you can see why. It just lowers that barrier to actually starting to speak so much. Practice anytime, no judgment.
What about getting the sounds right? Pronunciation.
Also, lots of great tools. The video specifically mentions Elsa Speak.
Yeah, they've been around a while.
Right, a longtime partner mentioned. And also an app from Hadar Shamesh from Accents Way.
And these apps give you feedback on your specific sounds.
Yes, they use voice recognition to analyze your pronunciation and give you targeted feedback to help you sound clearer, more confident.
So lots of tech help. But the video also brought back a classic technique for speaking and pronunciation.
Shadowing. Still one of the absolute best.
But with a really crucial tip added.
Yes, this was important. Always use subtitles when you shadow.
Why is that so vital?
Because honestly, it's super easy to mishear things when listening to natural, fast speech.
You might think they said one word, but it was another.
Exactly. Or you miss how words blend together. And if you shadow based on mishearing something.
You learn the mistake, affects your grammar, your pronunciation.
Right. Subtitles show you precisely what's being said. They help you catch common things like contractions going to becoming gonna.
Or connected speech, like how did you can sound like did you.
Those kinds of things. Subtitles make it clear.
So the process is watch something with English subtitles, YouTube, Netflix, whatever.
Yep. Pause it. Repeat the sentence out loud. Try to copy everything, the rhythm, the tone, the connected sounds.
Don't overthink the grammar rules while doing it.
No, just listen, enjoy, imitate. Focus on those common phrases, those chunks we talked about. The more you do it, the more natural it starts to feel.
And for people ready to level up their shadowing.
The video suggests recording yourself shadowing.
Ooh, that takes courage.
It does. But then you listen back and compare your recording directly to the original speaker.
And you can really hear the differences.
Exactly. It forces you to listen critically to yourself and pinpoint what needs work. That kind of analysis can lead to huge improvements.
Okay, moving towards the cutting edge now. The video talked about VR, virtual reality learning.
Yeah, this is where it gets pretty futuristic, but it's actually happening now. It's described like stepping inside a video game or a movie.
You need a headset, like a MetaQuest or Oculus.
Right, you need the VR headset. And then you're in this like 3D world.
And you can practice English there. How?
Well, apps like Immerse or Mon, mentioned in the video, they put you in virtual scenarios, like a coffee shop or an airport check-in desk or a classroom.
And you interact.
Yeah, you can walk around, look around, and actually speak English to do things. Order a virtual coffee, talk to a virtual teacher, maybe interact with other learners or AI characters in that space.
That sounds intense, but also kind of fun.
It's described as make-believe, but surprisingly real. And because it's virtual, it's a totally safe space to practice those real-world interactions. Definitely something to check out if you have the chance.
Cool. And finally, there were 2 bonus ideas thrown in.
Yep. First one, language exchange apps.
Like Tandem, HelloTalk.
Tandem, HelloTalk, speaking, apps like that. They connect you directly with native English speakers who might be learning your language, or just other learners.
For actual conversation practice.
Real conversation, yeah. And cultural exchange, too. Great way to make connections.
And the second bonus idea, creating an English second life.
Huh. Yeah, I like this one. It's about carving out a space online where you just use English.
Like a dedicated Instagram account or TikTok.
Could be, or YouTube Shorts, whatever platform you like. The idea is to commit to posting content there only in English.
What sort of stuff?
Anything, really. Little voice notes, video clips, talking at your day, reviewing a product, having a mini rant. Just your normal interests, but expressed in English.
Making it part of your creative outlet.
Exactly. It makes practice consistent, integrated, and potentially really fun and rewarding.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot of ground we've covered. From changing how we think about grammar
To using AI for speaking practice, reading with audio, shadowing effectively with subtitles.
even VR and building an online English persona.
It really drives home the video's main point, doesn't it? With all this tech and these refined methods.
2025 really is an amazing time to be learning English. There's so much support available.
There really is loads of options to suit different styles and needs.
So thinking about everything we've discussed, all these practical tools and approaches, learning in context, active use, spaced repetition, reading plus audio, chunking, AI chat, shadowing right, VR maybe, language exchange, that second life idea. Which one or maybe which combination feels like something you listening might want to try first?
Yeah, it's worth considering. How will you take advantage of this, well, this golden time for English learning? How can you weave some of these ideas into your routine this year to make learning feel more natural, more integrated, and ultimately more successful? Thanks for joining us here on English Phrases Hub.
You can find us and more discussions like this on all the main podcast platforms, so do subscribe if you'd like to hear more.
And if this was helpful, maybe share it with a friend who's also learning English. We really appreciate ratings and comments, too. Let us know what topics you'd like us to cover next.
Yeah, we're thinking about things like mastering pronunciation with AI, learning through movies and TV, maybe everyday idioms and slang.
Lots of ideas.
So until next time, keep practicing, make it enjoyable, maybe try one new tool this week, or watch one English video actively.
You're doing great. We really believe in you. Stay motivated, stay confident. Every day you practice, you're getting closer.
We'll be back soon with another deep dive. Thanks again for listening to English Phrases Hub.
Happy learning and bye for now.
Happy learning and bye for now.